Hello and welcome to my channel, Data 3 RC. This video is part 2 in a series of videos dedicated to the build of a TLR 5B buggy. In this video we're going to cover the cost of the kit and the parts required to complete that kit, and then we're going to compare that cost to that of a Losi 5T 2.0. Let's get started. Here's a cost sheet that I put together for this video. The table furthest to the left covers the supplies needed for both the 5B and the 5T 2.0. In that table we have a gas can for $15.57, 1 gallon of gasoline at $3. We've got oil, 16 ounces for $20.99. Now I use Castor 927. You can use something else that doesn't cost that much, but it probably doesn't get much more expensive than Castor 927. I've got a ratio right cup in there for $6.99. A ratio right lid for $2.50. Now that lid is not required, but I like the lid because it keeps dust and debris out of the ratio right cup when you're not using it. Then below that we've got a battery charger. I just threw in 70 bucks. That seemed like a median price. You could probably be down as low as 40 if you wanted and up over 100 if you wanted, but 70 seemed like a good number. And then I've got $5.99 in there for charge leads, because you're going to need those in order to charge your receiver battery pack, giving us a grand total for supplies of $125.04. Moving on to the center column, we have the pricing for the TLR 5B buggy kit. First line item there is the kit itself, $749.99. Then we've got the dynamite kill switch, which is not mandatory to run the vehicle, but in my opinion, the 5th scale vehicles are big enough and heavy enough that they warrant a kill switch for safety reasons. After that, we've got the Spectrum DX5C transmitter and SR6100 receiver combo for $154.99. Now that is different than in my unboxing. In the unboxing, I showed only an SR515 receiver, not a transmitter receiver combo. That was a mistake. I was initially going to use my existing transmitter for that, but I chose not to opt for that and send that receiver back and then buy this receiver and transmitter combo here. So that's why I put that in this table. So that's $154.99. And then we've got the DDM 7000 milliamp 2S receiver battery at $54.99. We've got 3 high-tech D845 servos for a total of $314.97 for those 3 servos. We've got an on and off switch for $15.99, and then we've got the Zenoa G320 engine for $304. That gives us a total for the kit and the parts to complete the kit of $1,632.92. When you add that to the supply total, we end up with $1,757.96. Moving over to the table on the right, we have the pricing for the Losi 5T 2.0. First line item there is for the 5T 2.0 truck for $1,399.99, and that truck actually comes assembled. It's called a bind and drive. All you have to do is pull it out of the box and bind it to a transmitter, and it's ready to go. Second line item there is the dynamite kill switch at $37.99, and you have to install that yourself. Even though the truck comes ready to go, it does not come with a kill switch. You have to install one yourself. Then we've got a Spectrum DX5C transmitter for $109.99. We've got a 5200 milliamp 2S receiver battery for $64.99. And then because it's a bind and drive, you can see there I've got included for the receiver, servos, on-off switch, and the engine, the Zenoa G320. All of those are included in that $1399.99 price. So that gives you a price tag or a price total of $1,612.96. Add the supply total to that, we end up with $1,738 even. Okay, so we have our cost workup for both the TLR 5B and the Losi 5T 2.0 in their respective yellow boxes. Below those yellow boxes is another box labeled Bartolone tuned pipe. And you can see that for the TLR 5B, that's $235, and for the Losi 5T 2.0, that's $249. I added those there because most people run a tuned pipe on either of these vehicles. I've not seen where too many people are running the standard exhaust pipe or muffler. Now you can, and so those yellow box prices are the bare minimum to get up and running, and that would be with a muffler. The orange box pricing shows you what it costs if you're going to purchase a tuned pipe. Now there's other brands besides Bartolone, but that's a pretty common one and it's a high quality one, so I threw that in there. So the pricing in the orange boxes tells you what you would basically pay to get started up with either of these with a tuned pipe. And so for the TLR 5B, you're looking at $1,992.96. And the Losi 5T 2.0, you're looking at $1,987. So there's not even $6 difference between those two. So the reality is, you're in it for about $2,000 for either of those. Really what it boils down to at this point, not considering performance, not talking about whether you want a truck or a buggy or whether you like the way a truck drives or a buggy drives. If you're looking at it strictly from a cost analysis at this point, really you have to ask yourself, do you want to build a kit, which is the buggy, or do you want something that comes pre-assembled and you simply bind a transmitter to and go? Anyway, one other thing to mention, in my unboxing in part 1 of this series, I showed you a 9,500 RPM clutch spring that I'm going to be adding to the TLR 5B buggy. It is $9.99. It is not in this cost workup. It is not necessary. I've got it in my Losi 5T 2.0 and I like it a lot. That's why I added it to the parts I'm going to put into the TLR 5B. So you don't need to worry about that. If you don't want that, don't worry about it. And it's only 10 bucks. And then also all my pricing here, there's no taxes and there's no shipping. And then all of this pricing was recorded in February of 2021. All right, I hope that was useful for you, and make sure to come back for part 3 of the video series when we start the actual build.